Alright guys, let's talk about AMC and what is happening today, because the stock is up 1.13% and you're really seeing a volatile day. In the beginning of trading, AMC went all the way up to about $6.73 per share, got rejected on that 50-day moving average, and a lot of this negativity, or I should say virtually all of this negativity, has come from reports that came out yesterday that AMC's lenders were organizing against them to essentially try to pick apart the business of what they would get if AMC went bankrupt. It's the way of lenders to not have to sue each other. It's preparation for bankruptcy. And I had some people in the last video talk about this was not AMC Entertainment, this was AMC Networks, and unfortunately it's probably both of them. As you can see right here, lending troubles strike AMC Entertainment stock. Now, I don't think this is correct. I think this is simply a rumor. We have not had anyone definitively come out and say we're trying to organize on AMC. There has not been one lender or one organization you can point to that is saying these things. This could all very well be made up, because just logically speaking, when you look out into the future, like, you're getting Amazon that is investing in theatrical films, $1 billion a year to produce 10 to 12 films. You're getting blockbuster movies that are going to be coming out in December. You have Avatar 2 going to be a big hit. And next year, you're going to have a lot of big hits as well. And most importantly, you haven't heard Adam Aron even address this. So I think this was widely made up. Maybe it's happening, maybe it's not. Who knows? I don't think AMC is in that imminent of danger of going bankrupt, guys, but that is what has affected the stock as of the last couple of days. And I will say the good news is, when this comes out to be rebutted that this is not true on AMC Entertainment, the stock will rally fiercely, guys, and that is my expectation, because they got $700 million in the bank, let alone credit lines, and let alone the fact that they're probably going to be free cash flow positive and able to operate without burning through cash in this next quarter. So I wouldn't get too discouraged about what we have been seeing over the last couple of days. Nevertheless, guys, what has caused this bullish reaction in the markets here today? You could see the S&P 500 is up about 0.68% after a couple continuous days of sell-off after we rejected around $410. Well, it is the weekly jobless claims, and weekly jobless claims increased 4,000 to 230,000. Continuing jobless claims rise 62,000 to 1.67 million. This 230,000 jobs was right on economists' expectations, but continuing jobless claims rose 62,000. This was not part of the forecast. So you're seeing some, articles, some people's opinions on this saying that the labor market is continuing to tighten, and sure it is, but we still have 10 million jobs that are open. So it's not like we're at a super relaxed job market. It's still very tight, and there's still plenty of work to be had if people want to work. But these numbers, anytime you get numbers that support the Fed, should slow down raising rates. And the economy is cooling down, the labor market is cooling down, the markets are going to rally off of that, and that's exactly what you are seeing today. This is not a huge data point, though. These are week by week data points, so that's probably why you're only seeing a roughly 0.5% rally in the S&P here today, guys. Now let's get into some of the data behind AMC and talk about what we have in the markets for tomorrow as well. So for AMC, you're looking at a live short interest of free float that is up about 1.18% today, sitting at 20.21%. So still, shorts are not covering. Shorts are taking this opportunity to short the stock in a big way, obviously, as you can see from the price action of AMC. You are sitting on about 104.18 million shares that are sold short, increasing 1.21 million shares short on the day. So that's a lot of shares that have been sold short today. Cost of our average of 25.39%. We can see the actual numbers are roughly around 25% here today. Cost of our max at 35.15% and cost of our minimum at about 0.35%. So that average number, oh, gosh, looks to be pretty spot on. You're at about 25% for the day as well. Now, if we take a look at the option activity for the day, 22% positive order value, 93 orders totaling $13.04 million. You are seeing a good amount of calls and puts here, but some of the put orders have just been so big, they're definitely skewing away any call activity that you have been seeing. And that's why you're seeing a lot of dollars flowing into AMC options today. 13 million is quite a bit for a day's worth of option activity on AMC. 93 orders. That is a lot. That is a lot. Positive order value being 22%. That is pretty terrible. But like I said, I do expect this rumor to get rebutted at some point, and I do expect that to be a very positive thing for AMC. Now, for tomorrow, you are going to have PPI month over month for November. We are getting that at 12:30 p.m. So about lunchtime you'll get that, and we are expecting 0.2% month over month increase to producer price inflation. That tends to feed into actual inflation. The last month was at 0.2% as well. So if this comes down or even into negative territory, that would be extremely bullish. If this goes up and obviously is higher than 0.2%, it's going to be very negative for the markets. Now, I think the biggest thing is going to come at about 2 p.m. tomorrow. It's the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey, the preliminary survey for December. And you are, it's just based off of a number system as far as expectations. So I will just tell you the expectations of the markets. The markets are hoping and praying that consumer inflation expectations go down over the next 3 to 5 years, or at least do not continue to go up. That is one of the biggest things. That is the one thing Fed Jerome Powell fears is consumers expecting higher inflation, because when you expect higher inflation, businesses start to bake that into, we're going to raise prices the first of the year, and then we're going to raise prices the first of the year of the next year. It's that inflation expectation that people can just do that and consumers will accept it. So depending on how that number comes out, that will be big. You're going to get a lot of other data points revolving around the consumer sentiment. It's called the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey. And all of this will be important for economic data and for the path to fight inflation. And I do expect to see probably a 2% move up or down tomorrow based off of these two events. And the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey don't come out until 2 p.m. So those last 2 hours could be very, very violent, guys. So there is all of that information. If we take a look at the Stock O Tracker data for AMC, for this week, you're looking at about 2,500 calls that are in the money, 143,000 calls that are out of the money. So when you look at it like that, there's a lot of calls that could go into the money when there's already very few calls that are in the money. So that could create a very violent move even tomorrow if you do see a positive market catalyst. But for next week, that's going to be the big option expiration. You have about 4,000 calls that are currently in the money and 184,000 calls that are out of the money. 77,000 puts are in the money and about 42,000 puts that are out of the money. So if these puts run out of the money and these calls run into the money, that is two forms of buying power, and that will be very, very good for AMC's actual share price, guys. And if we look at the chart, obviously 50-day moving average, that is still the main level that we want to watch. We need to break out back above that. It looks like we're retesting it over the past 2 days. It has been a little bit of resistance. On the downside level, I think you want to watch that $6 price. That's where we bottomed out yesterday. Oh my gosh. Where we just did not break under today. So I think you want to watch $6 to the downside, and I think you want to watch the 50-day moving average to the upside, guys. So that is basically going to be all for this video. Not too much else to actually say. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.